larger than life. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean, he's labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike, he'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say, he'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
Good morning. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We got a great show this week. You know, every week is a great show, and you know, I got to back up my BS, and you know, to prove it, so go to bswithtodd.com. Check out the previous episodes. Last week we had David Richards on, good friend of mine. That was a fantastic show. We touched a lot of different subjects, including the upcoming cabling skills at Dixie in a couple of weeks, and I'll have some more information for you towards the end of the show on that. So that should be good stuff. What's going on this week? I don't know. You know, I don't know if you could tell, but I dropped like 12 pounds, and you know, I'm losing one of my chin, and I think Jamie Brookover is gaining his 5th or 6th. So anyway, I'm just getting too old for that crap. And speaking of getting too old, I waited on this out at the gate yesterday, and I'm not endorsing this product yet. But I mean, this is to the stage in life that I am, right? Shower Joe. So anyway, speaking of aging, I'm Sam. All right. So my older brother Sam hooked me up with a little bling, and now I'm gonna have to Google this. I don't know if I believe him, but he says this is Farthos, the god of flatulence. I don't know. Anyway, I'll Google that. But not much going on here. I'm excited about getting out of the house and going to Bixie. That should be fun. I saw Lisa Schwartz up there. At least I'll see you at Bixie. In fact, I think we have a dinner scheduled at the Big Shin. Anyway, that'll be good to see everyone out there. Everyone's still healthy here. You know, y'all know I don't like people to begin with, so I try and stay away from people. This is as close as really I want to get from here on out. But anyway, so today's show. Now again, we're continuing on the subject of you know, partnerships and how labeling fits into those partnerships. And you know, we've had Lisa on, and we've had David on, and we've had all sorts of people on, Quanergy, and then the Softing, and everybody else. You know, so that's the whole idea is partnering up and attacking this very small business realm. You know, with that to make everybody's life a lot easier. And so, like I mentioned last week with CPI, so I'm doing something a little bit different this week. And I'm actually bringing on a distributor partner, a new distributor partner. And you ask why? What does labeling have to do with a distributor partner? Well, number one, I'm announcing that they are a new distribution partner for us. Number two is just about everything they sell needs labeling. So why not talk about it? They've been around for a very long time. I'm very excited about working with these individuals. Now, I used to work with a lot of these individuals when I was with my inferior competitor years and years and years ago, and a lot of those people are still there. So I'm looking forward to working with them, and they got some new things going on, and I'm not going to steal anybody's thunder. This conversation is going to be, you know, with a couple of old guys. And we're going to talk, you know, we're just going to talk, just a couple of, you know, we're going to kibitz, if you will. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Mike McCarry. And Kate is going to flip the switch on Mr. Mike there. And good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Todd?
Lovely. Lovely as usual. Thank you. You look good this morning. A lot better than you did yesterday, I got to tell you. So
yeah, I cleaned up a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you look good. So anyway, we decided, it's kind of it's not really ordinary to invite, let's say, a distribution reseller partner on. But again, I'm very excited about it. So therefore, I wanted to showcase this to the rest of the folks out there. Now, we've had existing partnerships with other resellers for years and years, and everyone out there knows what it is. But I wanted to make sure, because ADI goes about business a little bit different. I will tell you from experience, one of the things I absolutely loved about ADI when I was with that other company was the fact that I can walk into any branch and there was my product. I mean, it was right there. If I needed, tapes, or my customers, I should say my customers, I didn't need the tapes, but everything was right there I needed. And so they do a great job of stocking all the stuff that is requested by the customer. So I really can't sing enough praises about how you guys do your business. And a lot of your business is counter-based. And I know that's a little bit different with the pandemic and stuff like that out there, but I'm sure ADI has adapted very well to basically getting everything that their customer needs. And so, Mike, I want to thank you again for being on this morning. And what we discussed about yesterday, and Mike, I'm going to let you expand on this, is we did have really the talk, a couple old guys talking about, kind of what we used to do and how we used to do it and where things are going and where we think things are going. And so, Mike, based upon your experience, and I know that you were a contractor at some point too. So first and foremost, I'd like to get your perspective, and we'll talk about ADI as a business unit, but your perspective on maybe when you were a contractor and what you saw, not necessarily labeling wise, I'm talking about across the board, and then kind of where we are now. And you could talk about labeling if you want, but Mike, you want to take the floor for a couple minutes and kind of expand on what you and I were talking about?
Sure, thanks. Yeah, so I was a contractor straight out of the Army. I went to work for a contractor, a government contractor, and that was pre-category cabling. So back then, everything was manufacturer specific. We're talking about a couple old guys, you and me. So IBM Type 1 cabling, Ethernet thick net cabling before Twisted Pair came along. And the industry has certainly evolved over the past 30 years. The advent of category cabling, we've become a bit of a commodity as opposed to being a specialty contractor. We're more of a commodity contractor, but that's okay. We're still very much needed in the building industry. Every building has structured cabling, and every contractor who can do good work in structured cabling can make a living these days still. So I'm happy to be part of the industry. I've been in the industry for many years, last 3 or 4 here at ADI. So it's all good. And we're extremely happy and proud that Brother decided to bring us on as a distribution partner. And we're just really looking forward to that relationship taking off.
Absolutely. And same here. And let's go back to what we were talking about labeling wise when you were a contractor, and kind of we shared some stories of kind of the trials and tribulations, if you will, about labeling. And me and Mike were talking about, obviously we used a lot of Sharpie, right? The labeling books, the A through Z's and the 1 through 0s, and the write-on stuff. So things have come a long way. All right. And so, Brothers come a long way, and ADI's come a long way as well. One of the things that I love about ADI is that you guys really aren't specializing and focused on one thing. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But from what I remember with ADI, it was back in the day, and we're talking 10 years really, since I've dealt with ADI as a regional manager. So it was really primarily focused on a lot of security, and that's developed, a long way, and, pro audio video. And so now what has happened, and I think they dabbled in Datacom, right? And in fact, I mentioned the brand that you had on the wall that I saw at every ADI brand, so I'm not going to mention that brand. But now it has evolved into something a lot bigger. And really this whole partnership started at a Bixie show when another Mike approached us and started talking about, hey, we're really expanding on the Datacom portion of low voltage. And I said, that's great. That's fantastic. So that's kind of where this whole thing is really developed, because brother is I think a strong point really is in the Datacom industry. But we also label everything associated with security, access control, pro audio video, HVAC, so forth and whatnot. And the cool thing is that you guys now, I feel, have come full spectrum, with that really expansion upon Datacom. Mike, so do you have a second to talk about that expansion into the Datacom world?
Sure thing. In fact, you used the word dabble, which I use all the time. So the history of ADI, of course, is security, access control, intrusion, CCTV surveillance systems. That's our bread and butter still to this day. But in the past, that was all we offered. So when IP cameras came to the market, of course, we had to start selling Cat6 cable, jack cords, et cetera. So that was the term dabble. We used to dabble in Datacom structured cabling. We no longer dabble. We're a full-blown stocking distributor of all the Datacom structured cabling products across the board. So we augment our security partners within ADI. So we have 3 distinct sales channels within ADI. Of course, the traditional security, which includes fire and intrusion, the Pro AV, as you mentioned, and now us at Datacom. So we all complement each other. And like you said, everything we sell needs a label. So it was just a natural marriage, I think, to bring brother on board and just see where we can take this. I think it's going to be great.
Well, you mentioned fire too, and fire suppression, and that's an area to where they're pretty stringent about labeling, and that's actually an area to where, in fact, it'd make a great BS with Todd segment. We've touched on a lot of different segments within the industry, but that could be a nice little episode, because there's a lot of components that go into that. So I'm going to expand upon what you said as far as really labeling everything, active and passive electronics, and racking cabinets and patch panels and MVRs and DVRs and cameras and everything else. And it's never been so important, I think, in this day and age, to have the right label, and the label doesn't come off. And Mike, you said you've seen a couple of my episodes, but one of the things that I'm really fixated on these days is barcoding and asset management, because again, it goes back to a liability standpoint. If you're throwing up a security system, somebody's going to need to quickly know the IP address or where that camera's coming from, the closet, or so forth and whatnot. So, one of the things that we do really well is barcoding, including QR coding. And I just love QR coding. I'm very passionate about QR coding. So, again, it's never been more important. And then what I'm trying to do is infuse that barcoding, if you will, and QR coding into the current 606 standards. And I'm not going to go into the standards. I got previous episodes, but I'm trying to make everything simple. One of the other things that we're doing, Mike, and we talked about this as well, is our partnerships. And we're always looking for more partnerships. And our very first partnership, in fact, she's here watching today, is AEM with Lisa Swartz. And obviously we've developed some other partnerships with testers and certification units, but we're now talking to software vendors as well. And Mike and ADI, they do offer some of those, some of our partners, as far as the testers and the certification units and stuff like that. So again, I think it's really come full circle, not only with ADI, but it's come full circle with brother to be able to provide ADI's customers with a way to label everything. And I do mean everything. A lot of those electricians out there, they are, I used to say dabble in low voltage, but now they're fully engulfed in low voltage. So you have electricians that are working on the high voltage stuff and the low voltage stuff. Now we've got a printer, and those customers, Mike, are buying from ADI, and it could be electricians coming in that are doing security work, so I think that we have, in fact, I know, damn it, I know without a shadow of a doubt that we do have a solution for anybody that comes in for any type of platform that ADI provides them with. And so, Mike, I hope you concur with that. I hope I've given this, a nice little summary of what ADI brings to the table, what Brother brings to the table. Mike, if you will, I'd like to talk to you about the Datacom side a little bit more. I want to expand a little bit more on the Datacom side. I know that you guys are expanding really nationwide, and I know a couple of your RASs, all right, very well, for a very long time. But as far as your expansion, this isn't just, it's not a small little area, right? You guys are going full pop boogie nationwide. Am I correct?
That's correct. Very much so. In fact, today is our national sales kickoff meeting happening online on Zoom, unfortunately, instead of in person. But was watching our CEO this morning talk about the numbers and the amount of growth that we've had across the board, not just in our Datacom division, but across the board, and not just here in North America, but globally as well. So the fact that we are growing so much, that allows for additional headcount of our sales force. It allows for additional headcount in the technical engineering side of the house where I reside. And the growth just speaks for itself. So we currently do have a national sales team in North America. It's about 4.5, almost 5 years old now. But we are expanding that. You use the term RAS, that's regional account specialist. So it's really a regional sales manager in regions. We have about 12 regions today, and we're going to be subdividing some of those regions and adding approximately 7 regional sales managers to the 12 existing. We have developed a new inside sales support team. They're down in Dallas, and they support the Datacom customer base only. We, of course, security and AV have their own inside sales groups as well, but this is new to the Datacom division, and that's up and running. That's a 5-person staff today. It's looking to expand that this year as well. So we're really growing the Datacom business, and we're really proud of that. I want to back up to what you said earlier about some of the larger electrical shops that buy from us. So we have really 3 or so distinct, what I call customer types. The large national-based or regional-based electrical contractors that do high voltage, they do security and fire, and then they started dabbling in Datacom and AV. So that's one customer base. Then we have the strategic security partners that are just doing security systems, access control, intrusion, and surveillance. So, and then comes along the AV contractor. So again, a lot of the cross-selling between the disciplines is happening as we speak. It's growing our business. It's a successful model. We have 110 branch locations. A lot of the products right behind you are on display at our branches. And then we have 9 distribution centers that feed those branches daily. So it's really a good model, and nothing but growth. I see nothing but growth in the next few years.
The industry is certainly growing, and that's one of the things where it kind of, I don't know, hold on a second. From Folsom, California. You know what? That prison system is always bugging me. I wonder if it's time to check in. Anyway,
I thought you needed a new car warranty there, Todd.
Yeah, that's just it. These spam calls are killing me. They're absolute killing me. Look at me. I'm only 31 years old. And it's because of the spam calls and maybe this industry. And so anyway, going back to, we've seen fantastic growth on the brother side. And, everything's shut down and everyone's hunkered in and stuff like that. But, man, they're blowing and going out there. So that is fantastic. And, it's great to have some strategic partners like ADI supporting that business growth. And obviously, you gotta put a label on it regardless. And we all hope everyone out there is using brother labeling for that. And, as a growth unit, I'm going to go back 5 years ago. You know what? Now that you start talking about this, that team's been together for 5 years. It probably was 5 years ago, the first time that I bumped in the mic, and it's just unbelievable how time flies. But anyway, so, as much as I consider you guys, NKOB, new kid on the block, you're not, and that's fantastic. And we're going to share a little bit of information, or Kate is, at the end of the show regarding your sales team and how to contact them and how to contact you and so forth and whatnot. So one of the things that we're working on right now for ADI is some in-store signage displays to make it nice and easy to not only find the Brother product, but figure out, what you may need, obviously. And so I've got a whole bunch of branches in my region. Whether or not I'm going to be able to physically get out and do that anytime soon, number one, depends on the pandemic. And number two, whether my goiter's acting up or my lumbago or something that day. So, regardless is I'm responsible for a lot of branches out there, and I'm sure I'm going to be able to re-engage with some old friends out there and some old faces and then some new faces. So what we're trying to do from the Brother side is make it as easy as possible to purchase the Brother product. But number two, figure it out. And if you're switching from, let's say, our competitors, we want to make sure that experience is very easy, comparing, cross-referencing their product to our product and to the superior product. So obviously we're going to make that easy, and in-store signage and so forth and whatnot. But I will be handling, I believe, unless things change, really including my reps. And that's the other thing too, is my manufacturer reps who cover Brother currently are also going to cover ADI. So between myself and my reps, again, I've got everything west of the Mississippi. So if any ADI folks out there are watching or future broadcasts, will have my contact information at the end of the show here. So with that being said, Mike, you got any closers? Got any zingers for me out there? Where are you at, by the way? I think I asked that yesterday, but I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
I am in Philadelphia. I'm based in Philadelphia. I'm a sales engineer. I support the national sales team.
Okay.
And again, we're looking to grow our sales engineer staff. So anybody out there with some sales engineer or just contractor experience looking to see what ADI has to offer.
Yeah, contact Mike. And again, we'll have his information. And I know everyone's growing and expanding. And, same here. Brother's got, a lot of open positions, and hopefully, my job rec doesn't pop up on there. But anyway, with that being said, Mike, you got anything you want to close out with?
Not really. Just to remind everybody, if they're at Bixie, not just to stop by and see Todd and his cabling skills challenge, but stop by and see the folks at ADI. We'll have a booth down there.
Yeah, so it's booth number, I even wrote that down, 908. Booth
Correct.
Number 908 at Bixie, and so ADI usually has a nice big long spread out there. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to make it this year, right?
I will not. I'll be manning the virtual booth for those several dozen or so folks that decide to come into that. Hopefully, we'll get a big crowd there on the virtual booth side as well.
So they didn't want you customer facing. Is that what you're trying to say, Mike?
They had enough. My boss, Mike Aceta, runs that thing, and he's got a staff. He's going to have 4 or 5 folks down there within ADI. So they didn't need me on this one. And who wants to go to Florida in January when you can be in Philadelphia in the snow? So
I know, that's crazy. That's nuts. Well, for me, I'm going from 72, 73 degree heat to what, maybe 77, 78. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Right? But with that being said, listen, stay warm in Philly. We're going to throw up some ADI contact information out there. I want to thank you very much for hopping off of your ADI, your big whoop-de-doo, to get on to this little whoop-de-doo. And again, the replays on this are going to be bswithtodd.com. Kate will throw those up there after this. But Mike, look forward to it. And you know what? I'm sure we'll be in contact down the road as the business grows. So I want to thank you very much. Have a very safe rest of the week, and talk to you soon.
You're welcome, Todd. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
All right, folks. Hey, it's a little bit, as you guys know, we have a lot of distribution partners out there, and I welcome any distribution partner to get on with bswithtodd.com. All right. It's an open invitation. In fact, in a couple of weeks, we have another distribution partner coming on, Cable and Connections, and that's going to be more technical talk. about our different collaborations with some of the other manufacturers out there. But they know it best. Our distribution partners know it best. They know what's happening, what's changing, and part of what I'm trying to do is keep everyone abreast of the changes and what's going on out there from every perspective, whether it be from a labeling perspective to a manufacturer's perspective, to the people that really offer those products out in the field. And so anyway, with that being said, look at the 10:23. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Kate, if you bring up the closing information. So we got Mike up there. So if you want to contact Mike out in lovely Philadelphia, the vacation mecca of the East Coast, contact Mike out there. All right. For any information regarding any specifics. He's also the sales engineer, as we mentioned. As far as contacting the communications sales team, and this may be small on your screen, we can certainly provide this. If you have any questions, reach out to myself or Mike, and we can send this information. But as you can see, they're pretty much nationwide. And growing, as they mentioned. So there's their contact information for any of the ADI communication RAS team. As far as upcoming shows, one of my favorite, it's a good segment, is Ask Todd Anything Part 2. And it's always fun to get questions out there, industry-related questions, I hope. But I'm not afraid. Bring on the questions. I'll answer anything. You want some marriage advice? Hey, I'm the one to talk to. Barbecuing? Contact me. Financial advice? Maybe not so much, right? But it really is Ask Todd Anything, and we sincerely hope that they are industry questions. But again, I don't care. All right, bring it on. February 1st, we're actually going to be doing a special live show from Bixie. All right, it's BS at Bixie, if you will, and we have a new app out there called the Pro Label Tool. It's been available on Android, so I have it on my burner phone here, but then I also now have it on the company phone. But anyway, it's called the Pro Label Tool, and I'm still getting used to working with it. It's a little bit different. It's really cool. Right, but we're going to talk about, and we're going to really roll this thing out at Bixie, and we're going to do a live podcast, a webcast, whatever it is, right, from Bixie, all right, and that's going to be on February 1st at 4 p.m. For those out there that are going to be at Bixie, we are in booth 532, so come on by, say hi. I heard we're going to have T-shirts back here, a couple of different prints, so come on by and say hi, and it'd be good to see you. So February. Now, the other thing too is we will be doing a live Instagram, first ever live Instagram at the Cabling Skills Challenge, I believe on February 2nd. Stay tuned. To be determined. It all depends on the Wi-Fi. Usually the Wi-Fi there sucks. It's a little better than dial-up. As far as I'm concerned. So we're looking into some different options for Wi-Fi out there. If it is, the Wi-Fi is not strong enough, we'll tape a segment, but we are planning to go Instagram live on February 2nd at some time. So stay tuned for that one. February 10th, as I mentioned, we have another distribution partner coming on board. Is that we're going to have Cable and Connections, and that's going to be more of, like I said, a technical show talking about our partnerships out there. And what it brings to the table to the from the contractor level to the end user level to the distribution level. So that is going to be a good show. As you guys know, I am super duper technical, all right, if you will, and so that's always a fun show. So with that being said, let's show the team. We always show. Oh, wait a minute! I forgot about this. So. No more going live on LinkedIn, all right? Not a big fan of this format at all right? So they begrudgingly gave me my own YouTube channel, all right? And so starting next week, we're going live to YouTube. Now, we're still going to advertise it the same way on LinkedIn, But it's just going to be a different link that's going to take you right to YouTube, right? I may be screwing all this up. So I got my own YouTube channel, right? Check. We're creating a new group on LinkedIn, right? Check. Join the network, ask questions, stay up to date. Some fresh BS all the time, right? And so look for us to go to YouTube. We'll still advertise on LinkedIn. Kelly just put something on the screen up there as far as the YouTube channel. So look for us live on YouTube instead of live on LinkedIn. They got their issues. But anyway, we'll still advertise it the same way on LinkedIn. And it's just going to take you a different route. That's all. I don't know. They do all that stuff in the background. I just show up and look pretty every week. So our contact information, if you need to contact me, obviously, I'm in here in lovely North San Diego County, California. Here's my information. Mr. Jamie Brookover out of Virginia Beach, who now is completely out of power because his neighbor ran over the box outside. Dan Cobb is out in, I don't know, Wisconsin somewhere. It's cold there too. Bruce Page, it's cold there too, right? Wherever Bruce is, he's back east somewhere. Dawkins, it's cold there too. Craig, a little bit warmer for Craig. He's in Florida. I'll be seeing Craig in a couple of weeks out of Bradenton area. So with that being said, hey, listen, Chuck, I know you're out there because I can see it, Bowser. Check out Let's Talk Cabling. I finally put one of your stickers. I call it a label, but it's not. It's a sticker. So anyway, check out Let's Talk Cabling. There's a little plug for you, Chuck. I appreciate it. Anyone that I have forgotten this because I'm old and I just forget a lot of crap. So with that being said, it's 10:29. Man, we nailed it again as far as the time. Questions, comments, concerns. If you need some bad advice, get a hold of me. Don't forget to think about your questions for Ask Todd Anything on the next episode. See you at Bixie sometime soon. Crap, man, I think that's it. Hey, stay safe out there, folks. All right, it's ugly. I think it's getting better. Stay safe, all right, and stay healthy because I need all y'all to come back here. So check out bswithtodd.com. That's all I got for you. I'm out.